Hello there, ladies, gentlemen, and whatever other miscellaneous nonsense tumblers trying to pass off as a legitimate life choice this afternoon. I thought I'd give you a quick tour of my ship, the XFA-01 Morgana here. It's a Viper Mark III class fighter ship, although it hasn't done a lot of fighting recently. This area of the galaxy seems to be fairly trouble-free, all things considered. I did come across some pirates earlier, and despite the fact they outnumbered me 4 to 1, I took about 3 shots with my starting laser, so they bust out and ran off. So I think they were afraid I might switch to my alternate weapons. So yeah, it did not end well for them. So in terms of gear, on the 2 medium hardpoints I have twin-link railguns here. They fire as a set. They are a pretty phenomenally heavy drain on power, and also every shot, because I'm firing 2 rounds at once, although it does an absurd amount of damage, it effectively costs me 150 credits per shot because you have to rearm these, unlike the pulse lasers here, which have infinite ammo but do jack for damage. So the railguns, basically what I do is I use the pulse lasers to bring their shields down, because that takes forever even with railguns. So I may as well save ammunition and use my lasers. And then once I've got a clear shot at them, I will use the railguns to finish them off, which just rip through armor like you would not believe. So they will pretty much rip any small target to shreds. One of the Sidewinder pirates that I went up against just after I equipped these, I took the shields down with the pulse lasers, and 1 shot from the railgun straight through the engine bay blew the whole thing to hell. So pretty hardcore. It does have a kill warrant scanner equipped, although I have yet to find a legitimate use for it. I'm told I need one. The whole online community says that I need one, that it'll make the game a lot easier, but I think they're talking bollocks, to be honest with you. Pretty much everything's been upgraded to the maximum I can realistically afford right now. It has the A1 military-grade composite armor, which massively increases its durability. It does slow it down a touch, which is a huge ball ache, because it's like 9 tons worth of armor, so it has rather drastically reduced my top speed. I can compensate with that by boosting power to the engines, but to be honest, it's not like it's turned it into a freighter. It's still pretty maneuverable. The power plant here, it does ideally need 1 more upgrade, but this particular space dock doesn't have it in, and I can't afford it anyway. It's 500,000 credits, but it's the second best power plant you can get for this thing so far. Thrusters are sort of middle of the road as opposed to the piece of crap ones I started with. The frameshift drive, which is basically a light speed drive, has been rather heavily upgraded, hence why I've now got a jump distance of 11.4 light years compared to like the 5 light years you have in your starting Sidewinder, which is why you can't go anywhere. It won't even plot a course between 2 stars that literally the star you're right next to, because it's considered too far away for your jump drive to make it. Fucking ridiculous ship. I've not upgraded life support, because the only time life support kicks in is if I overload my power bay or if I'm getting shot to hell, and to be honest I don't ever let any of those happen. The power couplings are just recently been upgraded to their best possible variation, so I can draw more power out of the bay. Essentially I can basically supercharge my weapons or my shields, get myself a bit of a boost to my engine efficiency. Sensors I do ideally need to upgrade, but it's kind of a lot of money for something that's going to be kind of a minimal effect, it's not really something I'm that concerned about. The fuel tank, you can't basically do anything about that, and because this is a fighter ship, it has a military compartment, and I've equipped that with the hull reinforcement package, which is why the hull integrity is 505, which is absolutely ridiculous for a ship this small. So as for my optional internals, it does have a decent cargo rack. Alright, it can only carry 8, but I can equip another one. The shield generator has been upgraded. I plan to upgrade it a little bit further as soon as I can get a decent power base so that it's not too much of a drain. That empty compartment does usually hold my buggy, but I don't actually land on planets at all. There's no call to. It's just sort of a novelty thing you can do at the moment. I've never encountered any real use for it. So I've left that empty so that it's not draining unnecessary power, and it also lightens the ship by a few tons, so it gives me some of my top speed back. The scanners do need to be upgraded, but let me put it this way, they're a bit bloody expensive. Even the intermediate one's 500,000 credits. Credits aren't easy to come by around here. Same as the planetary approach suite, as far as I'm aware, that is only a one-off thing. You can't really upgrade that. And obviously it's in Union Jack colours, because why the hell would it not be? It seems a bit stupid though, because you can't really see the ship, because you're always in cockpit view. You can put it in camera mode, but there's really no use of doing that. It doesn't give you any sort of advantage. It's just to take pictures to set as your desktop background or something, I don't know. But yeah, Rule Britannia, even in the middle of space, because, well, I didn't have any superior options, frankly. And it does have its ship ID plates, the Morgana. It's an upgrade from my previous ship, my XFA-01, which was a Sidewinder class. Now, you do start with a Sidewinder, which is basically the crappiest ship in the game. And there's really nothing it can do well. Paintwork's scuffed again, god damn it. This is what happens when I fly too close to the sun. Melts my paintwork off. Spend a few credits getting a repaint. Yeah, basically, the Valkyrie... I still have the XFA-27 Valkyrie, my old Sidewinder, because that way... in essence, you can see down there insurance cost is 53,000 credits, because I've... This ship itself cost me 146,000 credits to buy it originally, and I've spent nearly $1 million on it since. Because I don't piss about, I get the good stuff. And because of that, my insurance cost has gone through the roof. That's what they call the rebuy cost. If I was to, say, crash into the sun or get shot down by space filth, it will cost me 53,000 credits to start off with the exact same ship. I do need to then re-equip a few things, like under livery here. Go all the way down to the bottom. My weapon detailing and my engine detailing don't automatically transfer, so if I want my purple lasers back and my purple engine smoke, I've got to re-equip them, but that's free anyway. So yeah, I've got to make sure I've got at least 53 grand on me at all times, but if for whatever reason I can't manage that, I can... You get a free Sidewinder if you can't afford a rebuy, but the Sidewinder that you get free is absolute dog shit. It can't go anywhere, it's got crap weapons, it will get shot down within nanoseconds of fighting even another one of itself. So it's absolutely terrible, but my Sidewinder's got some significant upgrades to it. It's got better shields, it's got a better frameshift drive, it's got slightly better weapons. So at least then, if the worst comes to the worst, I've got a decent starting off point. So I will admit though, if it ever gets to the point where I've got less than my insurance cost, I will immediately stop all combat operations and just do freight haulage until I've got enough money for a rebuy. Because I am under no circumstances risking the Morgana. I spent a lot of money on this ship, and I want to keep it until I can afford to replace it with the next model up, essentially. There we go. Boom time delivery of 3 units of indium. And the Genikox system. 147 grand. I'll take that action. Assuming I can make it that far. It's only 13 light years. Should be only 1 or 2 jumps away. Just depends on the layout. That's the only problem. Looks like I can jump to LHS 305 and from there to Jincock. Yep. 2 jumps, piece of piss. And there's a decent spaceport there, so I don't have to worry about fuel. Excellent, I'll take that mission. That's a good paycheck for 3 tiny little things. So, Coulomb City Outpost. Yep. And because it's only 3 units, which isn't too bad. So I can only carry 8 at a time, which is a huge ball ache. I need a decent haulage freighter, ideally, if I want to take on bigger stuff. Because, like, for example, there are certain missions I can't do simply because I don't have the cargo space. But so far, the Morgana is working out just nicely for me. So, with that in mind, I'm going to take off. I'm going to go and deliver this, whatever it was, indium. And I hope never to come back to Pins on Dock here, because it is about 200,000 lights, about 2 million light seconds away from the star where you jump into the system. Because you always basically you warp into the system at the same point, as far as I'm aware. There's no way to control it. The problem is that this dock is, as I said, about 2 million light seconds away from it, so it took me nearly half an hour, even with my engines pushed beyond their reasonable maximum. As you can see, I've got all power transferred to the engines right now. I was going as fast as I could, and it still took me the best part of half an hour to fly here. That's real time, half an hour flying in a straight line with nothing to stop me. So I just put some music on through Spotify. I consider that the ship's radio. So I was listening to some AC/DC on the way here. So I am off onto my next mission. So that is the tour of the Morgana complete. I will see you next time.